Hey guys, how you going? It's me again, Dan. Welcome back to Hearns TV. And as per usual, I'm going to take you through an unboxing video of a really cool model plane. And yeah, this one has a menacing reputation, and it's a very well-deserving reputation of potency and power. One of, if not the most famous Japanese aircraft in history. And of course I am talking about the Mitsubishi A6M Zero, in particular the 5b. Now, I'll tell you a bit about the Zero. It was first obviously designed by the Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, and it first flew on April the 1st, 1939, entered service in 1940. It was a spectacular dogfighter. It really was. From the outset, it was designed to take on the opposition's fighter planes and just utterly massacre them, which it did. Lightweight, very fast, extremely maneuverable. It carried oodles of fuel as well, heaps and heaps of fuel. So its range was far in excess of a lot of its counterparts. And its pilots as well were some of the most ruthlessly tenacious airmen of any nation during the Second World War. The Japanese pilots were very highly skilled, and the results of what the combat results for the Zero, I think, speak droves in that. So yeah, cool. Let's have a look on the inside, and I'll take you through it, and as per usual, you'll learn a lot more about the Zero as we go along. Now, here we go. Box art, spectacular. Absolutely beautiful. You can see what a truly gorgeous aircraft it was. This is made by the good people at Hasegawa, and this is a 32 scale, so it's going to a decent size kit. So let's have a look on the inside, shall we? Now, chuck that over there. First, let's have a look at the instructions. And nice booklet style instructions, black and white. A little bit of color would have been nice, but like very minor gripe. There we got all the sprue listing there. You get a crew member with this one, actually a very detailed crew member, excellent. And all of the bulkheads for the rear of the cockpit, and all coming together there. Let's see what we've got. Hold this up. Yeah, see, black and white's not. It gets the point across, showing you where all the decals will go, and the basic camouflage of how it was painted. It's a little bit of color, you know, would have been nice. Now, put that there. Now, this is something I really like about this. Now, all of the sprues, one bag, one plastic bag. I think that's fantastic. I like that. The less plastic you got to throw out is the better, in my opinion. I wish more companies would do that instead of having lots of different plastic bags for the different sprues. But let's have a look. To begin with, start off with, of course, we'll start off with the fuselage. Along here, as you can see, very simple, very straight fuselage on the Zero. It's very lightweight too. It was actually made out of an aluminium alloy that was remarkably strong and very light. The same kind of material is actually used today on the M16 assault rifle. And then you've got the very distinctive tail, and with the tail planes, the wing roots, and that's where the pilot would sit there. And then some of the landing gear. Exceptional detail, actually, magnificent detail. Let's see if I can get some of the camera there. Indented and raised as well. Very, very nice, beautiful indeed. Well, it is a 32 scale, and 32 scales have got to be, you know, fairly good on details, because They are big, so you're going to see all the little bits about them. That's the covers for the landing gear just there. Yeah, alrighty. And now we'll have a look at the wing section of the aircraft. Once again, more of the details on the panels. Look at that, absolutely spectacular, raised and indented. This is an excellent kit. This particular one, the A6M5b, actually had enlarged enlarged fuel tanks in its wing area to enhance its substantial range even more. They're fairly light armament though, in all models of the Zero. About 11,000 of them were made in total through all of the variants. It had 20mm cannon in each wing, and it had two, I think 308 machine guns in the nose. So 4 guns in total, which was actually fairly light in comparison to the American aircraft that came up against, like the Wildcat, the Hellcat, the Corsair, and even the P-40. There were stories of Japanese Zero pilots that put their entire ammunition storage into one American B-17 and didn't take it down. Yeah, later variants actually had 4 20mm cannons as well. But as you can see, these sleek lines on the Zero. And here's an air intake just under there for the aircraft. One of the things that you'll notice about the B5 model of the Zero is around the engine, around the nose. Actually, I'll show you now. Around here, the nose cowling over the engine. The exhaust ports, there were several along the side down there instead of one exhaust port down the bottom, which actually helped increase thrust a little bit, so made it even faster. Just over 600 kilometers an hour. I think the Zero could do. And another good thing about is this here. Here's the propeller, and I love how the sprue is attached here into the very center and not attached to the actual propeller blades themselves. That's something I've had a little gripe about in some of my other videos, in case you remember. And here, all the pistons and the engine parts. As you can, it's good to see that the engine is so many different parts. Actually, in some of the other kits that I've shown you, the engines actually go together fairly easily, and they 2-3 parts at the most, or thereabouts. You know, but this one, the kit is fairly involved. And here we have some of the. I'll show you. There's the armament there. So one of the machine guns for the nose center of where the ammunition was. Beautiful. And as you can see there are the firing ports at the front of the nose for the 2 machine guns. Yes. Now, what do we got here? Empty that bag. Additional fuel tank. Go down the center line. Enhance its range just that little bit more. I'm picturing this painted in those Japanese green colors with the white underside and the nice yellow trim along the leading edge of the wings. And there you have the nose cover, go over the propeller. Beautiful, guys, details. All I can say is impressive. There's instrumentation there for the pilot. Fantastic. And more of these are the bulkheads that will go on the inside of the aircraft. Some of the inner workings on the sides of the cockpit, and more of the bulkheads there. And then there's the pilot seat there. This is a fantastic kit. Nearly gone through the whole thing. So not a hell of a lot of parts, but beautiful details. And lots of little pieces. This is a fairly involved kit, as 32 scales usually are. And then lastly, Another seat, more instrumentation, and then the coverings would go over the wings. That's probably, that bulge just there would probably go over the top of where the cannon would be in the wing. And then you have more of the, and that's where the cockpit canopy would end there, and more for where the machine guns would be. Beautiful details, excellent kit. Another thing that I've noticed on all of the sprues so far is that the parts that connect the piece to the molding themselves are very, very thin. Very thin, so they'd be very easy to remove. You wouldn't have to do a lot of sanding. Outstanding, very good. And then the pilot. Segmented pieces of the pilot. You got a few different options there for flying goggles, flying helmet. Excellent. Oh, I won't take this out of the plastic. As you can see, there's the canopy, segmented canopy, distinctive canopy on the Zero. Excellent field of view. The situational awareness for the pilots in the Zero was fantastic, which definitely contributed to a lot of its success. And lastly, of course, the decals. And here we have the red rising sun, or the meatball as the Americans used to call it, and all of the individual numbers and insignias there. And that's that. What an absolutely beautiful kit, guys. That's I can't recommend that one enough. We've got two of them in stock now. I've sung the praises of the Zero pretty well in this video, actually, and told you what a fantastic plane that it was, which it most certainly is. However, there is a lot of mythology around the Zero, and it seemed invincible to begin with. But to begin with, their opposition's aircraft really weren't as good as theirs, and the pilots weren't as experienced or as well trained. But as the war progressed, they found out that the Zero did in fact have quite a number of weaknesses. One, there was no armor plating anywhere on the aircraft, not around the pilot, anywhere. And the fuel tanks were not self-sealing either. So any hit from the very potent machine guns on American fighter planes were usually quite devastating. It didn't take much to knock down a Zero, but due to the armor plating and self-sealing tanks on American aircraft, it took a lot to knock them down out of the sky. Not only that, once again, like I said, there was nearly 11,000 made, but there was no way they could match the industrial power of the United States, and they could churn out aircraft at a much, much higher rate. And as the war progressed and the experienced Japanese pilots were killed, they came up against increasing numbers of well-trained American pilots that had better aircraft that were nearly their equal in maneuverability, but with much more powerful guns. And the Japanese thought that the speed, maneuverability, and the tenacity of their pilots would overcome the numbers that the Americans would throw at them. Unfortunately not. In a massive slugfest like what the Pacific Theater of World War II was, that was never going to work, and it didn't. And the results speak for themselves. The Japanese lost the war, and the Zero, as good as it was, ended up becoming kamikaze planes. But yeah, not that many of them left, but still a very, very potent legacy and reputation, and still a deserving one despite its drawbacks. Like I said, no airplanes are ever perfect, but cool. Thanks for tuning in again, guys. I hope you really like this video. I love making this one. I'm a big fan of the Zero. If you play War Thunder, I recommend you give some of the Zeros a try. They're a lot of fun to fly. But yeah, cool. All right, well, I hope to see you in store sometime soon. And as always, guys, rock and roll.